Hey guys, so quickly before we begin, I just want to say that for doing this video, I have asked my friend Elwood.
Hello.
Who, fun fact, if he used to be on this channel, if you watch some of the earlier videos on this channel, then you'll see that he's in them. And because Attack of the Clones is such a profoundly shit film, I thought it would be nicer to have someone to talk about it with, instead of just talking to you guys about how shit Attack of the Clones is. So yeah, let's begin. So obviously, Attack of the Clones is directed by George Lucas. He directed Phantom Menace and obviously Revenge of the Sith as well. And this is commonly known as the shittest Star Wars film. Probably the shittest, right? But there are certain things about this film which I think are some of the redeemable qualities I think we should touch on first. Number one, I think, being Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he was good in this movie.
He was. However, I would say that this is probably his shittest performance out of the three,
yeah,
right? Because if you look at like Phantom Menace, he kind of has that moment where Qui-Gon dies, and he has that pretty sort of emotionally
bound fight.
Yeah, emotionally charged sort of like fight scene. And at the end of Revenge of the Sith as well, when he fights Anakin, that's a pretty emotional moment.
Whereas, high ground.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas with this film, he basically just kind of stays the same. Like the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi at the beginning and the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end is basically the same, like completely the same character, right?
Yeah.
But Ewan McGregor is still pretty good. Also, I have to say that Sir Christopher Lee, the late great Christopher Lee, who plays Count Dooku, is pretty good. I like that, you know, they have a character like that, and he's nowhere near as physical, because obviously he's quite old. He's nowhere near as physical as Ray Park as Darth Maul. However, the acting side,
he's really good in it.
He is pretty good, just like all the characters. The Clone Wars series, which I am very tempted to review, I might do that like after.
In between.
I might do that in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, or I might do that after I finish Return of the Jedi. Oh, sorry, Force Awakens. After I've reviewed all of them, I might talk about why I love the Clone Wars series. Count Dooku, Obi-Wan, Anakin, all of the characters in this film are so much better.
Definitely.
In Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, the series.
It's just so much better. So if you haven't watched that, then please do watch it. But it is still cool to see Christopher Lee in this film.
Yeah, it is.
Another good thing I would say is that this is the first time you get to see the Jedi truly in action. Like in the first film, you get to see like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, which is great. But when you see like all of them come in the pit, that was pretty cool. And there's that like Jedi who tries to kill Count Dooku. A fun fact: his name is Coleman Trevor. I don't know why he looks like the dinosaur. Like I don't know if
tries to sneak. Yeah.
I don't know if George Lucas was trying to directly reference like Jurassic Park because he's friends with Steven Spielberg, but that guy looks like a dinosaur. I'm just saying. Yeah. But that fight scene was pretty cool. But like the Jedi kind of went down pretty easy. Like some of them just died.
Yeah. Some of them just.
Yeah, exactly. It did feel a little bit rushed and a little bit stupid. Those are basically all the good stuff. Now let's talk about all the utterly shit stuff. Okay.
This is going to be the longer part of it.
Yeah, this is going to be the majority of the video. We've just finished all the good bits, so let's talk about all the shit bits. Actually, there is one more good thing.
Okay.
Okay, so you know the scene where Anakin sort of tracks down his mom and finds out that his mom was bought by the Tusken Raiders. Yeah. And then he finds her sort of lying there dying. And then he just breaks down and kills all of them. Yeah, the Tusken Raiders. That was a fucking brilliant scene. That was actually such a good scene because it's basically the only scene in the film or in the entire series where Hayden Christensen gets to actually act to do something good and not deliver piece of shit dialogue. And that's just such an emotionally like...
There's emotion in here.
Yeah, exactly.
In his performance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that scene, which is so good, is directly followed by what is, in my opinion, one of the shittest scenes in the film in Star Wars history. Is, you know, when he's like, I
killed them all.
Yeah, I didn't just kill the men, but the women and the children too.
I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
Fuck off.
Like, oh, that's such a shit scene. It's
like cringy.
The character of Anakin is so incredibly inconsistent like in the way he's written.
No, because he's kind of like built up, and it's like you can see all that emotion,
Yeah.
and then he's like completely destroyed by that.
Yeah,
scene.
by that
Like,
piece
you're
of
like,
shit.
oh.
And you know, Darth Vader is such a cool and interesting character, and like in the original trilogy, you kind of want to know more about him, right? But Anakin is just such a whiny little shit.
Yeah.
And obviously, the famous scene we're going to talk about it now is obviously the scene where he's like, "I don't like sand. It's rough and coarse and irritating. It gets everywhere."
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Fucking hope not.
That is such a fucking shitly written, shitly directed, shitly performed scene. And it is hilariously bad, yeah, of course, but I just don't like the idea that that guy becomes Darth Vader. I do like the idea that Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars, the series, who's such a really complex and really conflicted character, that guy becomes Darth Vader. That's cool. Hayden Christensen is so fucking shit in this film, and obviously he gets better in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But there was just so many stupid shit scenes, and his character is so creepy. He looks like a sex offender. He looks like someone you wouldn't want to meet on the street. Like, you know when he first meets Padme and he just gives her that fucking rapey stare?
Yeah.
It's just not like, it's not good.
Hayden Christensen. Is it? Christensen?
Yeah.
His character in the movie, you only see, I think, talk to 3 people.
What, Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan,
Padme,
and Emperor Palpatine.
and he talks to Yoda a bit, but like, you know when he's talking about how like he's depressed and stuff? I don't remember that much.
Simple. Clone Wars, he talks to
interacts.
Rex.
Yeah, he has so many different character interactions.
Cody,
and they
all
are
the princesses.
progressed. There's an arc, right?
And he makes jokes, and he's funny, and he's
and he's like
lively,
charming and
he's
charismatic.
not dull, and like
and he's not just a complete creep. And the thing is, I don't want to give Hayden Christensen too much hate, because just like Jake Lloyd, who plays young Anakin Skywalker, a lot of it is due to the dialogue, which is obviously shit by George Lucas, and also the directing, right? And talking about the dialogue on the script, you know the scene where it's like the conveyor belt, where they're trying to rescue Obi-Wan in Geonosis, in the factory. Apparently that scene was written when he was driving to the set. And there have been people saying that he made that scene as sort of like, because he wanted, as sort of like to copy Spielberg, because he, in Minority Report, which came out the exact same year, there was also sort of like a factory conveyor fight scene where like Tom Cruise gets chased by Colin Farrell. So like people have been saying that George Lucas was like a direct copy of that.
But also, I think what's kind of hard for Hayden Christensen and the young Anakin, whatever his name is.
Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd, that's it. They're trying to build the character, like one of the most well-known characters, popular characters in the world, Darth Vader. So it's kind of hard to, I'd say, it's not all their fault, but it's kind of hard to be that
exactly.
get to that stage.
And actually, I want to quickly touch on this. Jake Gyllenhaal, one of my favourite actors, if not my favourite actor, was actually at one point meant to play Anakin Skywalker. He was one of the people who was meant to, who they looked at. And I was thinking, like, if Jake Gyllenhaal had played it, would he have been good? Or would he have been equally shit and ruined his career? I mean, who knows? Hayden Christensen could be actually a fucking good actor.
Yeah, if he didn't play.
Yeah, because Jake Gyllenhaal, look at his performance in Nightcrawler, Prisoner's Enemy. Like, he's one of the best actors in Hollywood. But if he had taken
Star Wars,
he could have ended up like some washed-up loser. I'm not saying Hayden Christensen is a washed-up loser, because I think he is a good actor. He's given some really good performances. I think he was all right in Jumper.
He was recently he did it.
Yeah, he's done some decent films recently. And when he turned up at the Star Wars, like May the 4th, like Star Wars celebration, he got cheered, which is nice. Let's talk about some of the other performances, right? Natalie Portman, she's pretty cringeworthy. She has one of the more cringeworthy lines when she says, "I truly deeply love you." No one fucking says that in real life.
Oh, what, in the...
When they're about to go out.
Yeah.
There's that Revenge of the Sith scene as well, which is completely fucking shit as well. But Natalie Portman is pretty, cringeworthy, and I love that when they're in the pit, the monster that they give her is like the one with the claws, so that they can take her shirt off so that she looks hot. It's just so like, that's like Michael Bay level. That's like Michael Bay level
like
shit.
Transformers shit in this.
And Ian McDiarmid as Chancellor Palpatine. Yeah, he's good. I think he's actually quite good, and especially in Revenge of the Sith. I'll talk a lot more about him in Revenge of the Sith, because he gets a lot more to do and he gets a lot more iconic lines. Yoda is pretty good, and also Mace Windu, Sam Jackson. Now, this is a problem I have with the continuity of the series, right? He gets a purple lightsaber, and the only reason he has a purple lightsaber is because Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber. That's the only reason. And then all the little encyclopedias and all the little character guys say, oh yeah, this is some special thing because Mace Windu has it. But it's not. The only reason that the lightsaber is purple is because Sam Jackson wanted it. He is good in this film. He has a cool action scene, and I'm about to talk about. I want to talk about Jango Fett, right? Oh yeah, Jango Fett, and Boba Fett's son. But when he cuts the head off Jango Fett. And later on in the film, towards the end, when Boba Fett has like the helmet, and let me grab this, right? And like he kind of like puts his head against the head. Surely Jango's head must fall out. Yeah. Like what the fuck?
And also, well, I'd like to. Jango Fett is supposed to be one of the
most ruthless killers. Right?
He just stands there and goes.
And
yeah.
Oh shit.
You're like, really?
And speaking of Jango Fett,
jetpack rockets, come on.
Jango Fett is one of the most dumbly written characters because he. You know one of the reasons Jango Fett is introduced into the film is because he's meant to kill Padme.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know at the very beginning of the film, I don't know if you know this, but the woman that gets blown up, like the decoy for Padme, right?
Oh yeah.
That's Rose Byrne.
Really?
Rose Byrne, you know from X-Men First Class and Bad. Yeah, that's Rose, I don't know why, but yeah. And anyway,
she looks young in that.
Yeah, because they for some reason Jango Fett is sort of like the character that they sort of hire to kill Padme. Instead of killing Padme, he hires another bounty hunter
to kill.
And instead of shooting Padme, the bounty hunter cuts a hole in the window and shoots poisonous slugs. What she could have done is she could have just cut the hole in the window and gunned Padme down. Or Jango Fett could have done it himself. Like Jango Fett shoots that poison thing at the bounty hunter before she leaks the information to Obi-Wan. Jango Fett could have just done that to Padme.
Long shot as well.
Jango Fett could have just done that to Padme. It's just such dumb fucking writing. And also, Jango Fett, when he fights Obi-Wan, there are so many, like, Obi-Wan, like, karate kicks him. And there are just so many, like,
I remember,
And it's just really bad. It is really bad. There is just so much stupid fucking shit in this film. And I kind of want to wrap up this review by I want to talk about the last sort of small portion of the film, which is sort of the battle, right?
What, the Count Dooku?
Yeah, the Count Dooku battle, the pit fight, which we talked about a bit earlier. But one of the things I want to address is that, okay, the clothes, right? They're meant to be genetically identical. They're meant to be completely identical. Fine. All of them are CGI. There's not a single human being in any photo. And
so
that's horror. Obviously, and the droids. None of them are practical. It's just there's an over reliance on CGI, to say the least.
They do that again in
Revenge of the Sith. Yes.
Which is stupid.
But when Anakin fights Count Dooku, right? I think like Obi-Wan gets incapacitated, so it's kind of like this Anakin Count Dooku. And there's this bit where it's sort of Anakin like cuts off the light. So it's completely dark and all you can see is like their face lit by the lightsaber.
Oh, I remember.
And I love that they were trying to make something like really cool and artistic, but it looks completely like shit. And obviously Yoda comes in and his fight is really cool. Yoda has some cool fight scenes.
He does.
But one of the things that I think a lot of people have said this, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I like the idea that Yoda doesn't need a lightsaber. Because he's sort of so in tune with the Force that he doesn't actually need a lightsaber.
He can win a fight without fighting.
And when Count Dooku is exactly. And when Count Dooku says like, oh yeah, it's clear that this battle can't be won by our skills with the Force, by our knowledge of the Force, by our skills with the lightsaber. And I was like, oh come on, just.
But look at Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stupid. And the film ends with Anakin and Padme getting married.
With a hand, which was literally just there to sell toys, pretty much.
It really is dumb. I think the hand was meant to be sort of a parallel with Luke because Luke gets his. Yeah. But it is a really stupid and cringe-worthy scene. One of the things that I hate most, aside from the CGI and the shit directing and Hayden Christensen, about these three films is that there is so much emphasis on the politics and the whole like Senate meetings.
Yeah, that's pretty shit.
And all that stupid, like, we don't want to see that. We want to see a fun adventure with a straightforward story.
That's kind of why The Force Awakens was so good.
Yeah, it's really straightforward. It's a really fast-paced, really energetic film. But actually, I want to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this at the very beginning, but I forgot to. Attack of the Clones has the least focus out of any of these films. If you look at Force Awakens, it's very clear. Rey is a special character. She needs to try and get these plans to these guys so that they can find Luke Skywalker while fighting the First Order. Even Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, they're trying to rescue Naboo, but then they go out to Tatooine, and it gets a bit confusing, right?
Yeah.
You get a film like Rogue One, which is probably, in my opinion, the most straightforward Star Wars film. They want to find the plans to the Death Star.
Exactly.
That is it.
And
what the fuck is going on in this film? Someone wants to kill Padme. Obi-Wan is sent to sort of investigate. He finds like a clone army. Padme gets sent with like the creepiest, like the person who is more likely to rape her than to protect her. And like, what's going on? There's no sense of story.
And then they go to Geonosis, and then they get captured.
There's no structure.
And then there's a war, and then they have another battle, and then their hand's chopped off, and then they get married.
So fucking shit.
Bends, no lines.
So anyway, I would say that this film deserves the grade of a D.
Yeah, I'd say
it's a D.
I think it's a bit.
Yeah. So of course there are redeemable moments. So there are some pretty good moments. There's some pretty good acting in here. There are some good things about
the
this
music's
film.
Good.
Yeah, the score by John Williams is obviously a classic. But it's just so like everything else is just so shitly executed in every way.
Yeah.
So pretty much that's it. That's our review of Attack of the Clones, and I'd like to thank Elwood for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for my review of Blade Runner, which I hope I'll be able to do in the next few days. I'm going to be reviewing that, sort of leading up to Blade Runner 2049. I'm already reviewing Blade Runner 2049. Hopefully, I'll be able to review Revenge of the Sith pretty quickly. We have something pretty special planned for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to sort of accomplish what we planned. But if it was, it'll be pretty good. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you.